Welcome everyone to some really quick, hopefully Linux live code stuff. Here with all Linux distribution, T2, SDE just raw and actually freaking working Linux. And Dr. Schubert, I think, noticed that on Itanium, yes, we support IA64 because we're not. Link time optimization majorly breaks stuff, as it usually does, right? Because unsupported and obsolete stuff. And so usually we filter stuff. That's actually why we actually filter stuff in T2. We have this compiler wrapper and we transform stuff, which you see here. So what this means is we remove here, for example, all the like tune and arch and CPU and stuff in G and GDB. So exactly for the reason that other distributions often hardcode that with CFlex and stuff, but all the projects and build systems use different stuff. So this is why we do this with this compiler wrapper transformer. I'm not sure if anyone else is doing it like this. I think in 20 years I've never seen someone else doing it like this. Leave in the comments below if someone does. But the problem is, so we remove there quite some stuff, but not LTO because it's not only relatively new, but also we often, sure, it's always best to think in advance and implement and fix stuff before it occurs. But the reality is we are only humans and we also forget stuff or don't think about everything. So also this is using fancy modern build output stuff. Thank you very much. So the thing is that it's BTOP, for example. Dr. Schubert reported this for BTOP. That they hard-coded that here in BTOP LTO. Somewhere says, yeah, here is OptFlex. Also, yeah, this is, can we have like maybe dash R? Okay. One more. So yeah, they hardcode that here, similar to, I said this before, like joystick tools, maybe even still today, hardcode 486. So OptFlex here somewhere, where was it? Why does this not, why does this list R? Usually, or whatever, usually this dash R should honor this escape codes. OptFlex something. This is really shitty to read, to be honest. LTO, then is this shitty to read. Ah, here, OptFlex, there it is. So they compile this with tree loop vectorize. So very theoretically, we should even filter out tree loop vectorize. That is, again, 2022, we still have find issues like this. So, but the main issue is, so we could always patch this away, but the problem is we notice this now with one package. There could also be dozens of others which hardcode the stuff. And so the problem is if you don't enable, so what is the problem? The problem is that you don't want, similar to CPU 486 or other such stuff, that obviously you don't want packages to randomly select stuff. You might build a PowerPC, you might want to optimize something else. And there's a little bit of a limit. It's crazy if we would hard code like dozens of optimization settings. The problem is we can also not simply remove dash F whatever, because there could also be valid things that are actually needed for some packages to function. But maybe for today, let's remove this FLTO thing there. Because the problem is also that this LTO stuff, as per usual, we know we need to sometimes disable this for some packages because code is too crusty for that to fail, and that happens to miscompile binaries for Itanium. And I was thinking, so we need to be a little bit careful because some packages might do their own LTO stuff. So I think what we will do is, we can't always remove it because it probably would break even Firefox. I think for Firefox we use there, because whatever trickery they do, with binary ELF hacking and what other crazy stuff, and other Rust and whatnot integration and so on. So I think what we should do is, we should only mess with it if the package is not marked as LTO in our package metadata. So I think we would continue to mark packages that either don't support LTO or have their own LTO trickery. No LTO for T2 for not messing with that. So we need to we need to refactor this conditional here. So I would say if not has flag no LTO, only then do stuff. And then either we could use the short form here. So either it is enabled, then if this is enabled, then insert that. Maybe we use 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Conf test LTO stuff. Actually, how did we? I think we previously. Okay, it's actually a little bit tricky. If we wanted to regain this warning here, also YouTube stats are a little bit funny right now. It's always something. Do your live YouTube stuff. If we want, so the problem is actually what we would want to do is. So, if basically the package has no LTO, then if no LTO, then nothing. So if not LTO, then do the stuff. If LTO enabled, then add this. What do we have here? We have here insert though. We probably want to use append. I hope that doesn't cause aggressions for the reason to have this at the end in case the package already supplies FLTO stuff, or we always remove that. We could actually, we could leave it with insert. It should not matter basically. What will be new? So I wanted to, I also see as per usual, there's always five ways or unlimited ways to do that. What I wanted to write is if LTO, then insert it, otherwise remove it. But not to change that, following my own best practices of not to touch running code. I think it shouldn't cause a regression to append it to GCC, but insert it. I just don't really want to, I'm not today not feeling lucky for that. So then let's leave that, and otherwise always var append GCC wrapper remove. Is it regex? So no, oh wait, I think this is always regex. So that would be FLTO. I think we want star here. Does it, or is it? Apparently no. I wonder if what our syntax is there. Not using that every day. Wrapper, and then we would need some. Oops. Some escaped star. And do we have, okay, this is remove slightly, okay, here's remove, okay, this is remove regex. What do we have there? Append remove, okay, this is normal wildcards, maybe globbing, we don't have regex here, this kind of stuff. You could argue there should be some documentation, but there's also a limit of, I mean, basically, documentation costs even more money, and quickly check this. So we change this now to always remove this. So if the package is not flagged to leave LTO alone, then remove any LTO, and so that code then runs always. This only if LTO is enabled. And the only thing is, if we wanted to keep this warning, because we just moved this out of this conditional, if we wanted that, we could move that in there if we wanted feature parity and not cause feature regression. That would be, unfortunately we would need to reuse that just to warn. So if no LTO and LTO is enabled, wait a second, oh, wait, no, this is, and alright, so if the package is no LTO and LTO is enabled, then warn that LTO is disabled for this package. I think that should make sense, shouldn't it? So then let's try that. Alright, we should actually disable LTO for a test. I usually build with LTO these days because usually it works well enough. Not that it would help that much, but yeah, funny thing is YouTube stats are funny today, but whatever. So, and I mean, as crazy things, we would need to have a full build again. Does it? So we would need, we don't see this immediately in the log file directly. So what do we have? FLTO. That should be removed now. And we still, of course, LTO see this here in this output, but that should not be used. Was this verbose or maybe? I really hate this modern or pseudo-modern build output stuff. I mean, we could commit it like that. We should... yeah, I mean, the very crazy stuff is we should actually have... we should have actually test cases if we would be like totally professionals, like in really mission critical stuff. We should actually have a test case for everything. So theoretically, the best practices is test each code path. Maybe a little bit out of time and everything. Otherwise, FLTO. The only thing is all, and welcome everyone, any addition to this removal makes this slower though. Should actually maybe check, oh, welcome everyone. And Craig is a new member there. I appreciate this very much. I should actually check if we simply linearly scan over this. So, I mean, not that it would unless you build on a 386 or Spark station. Doesn't matter that much on an Epic Threadripper Horizon, but this is also, yeah, we have there already quite some stuff and every edition there. I mean, yeah, we speak nanoseconds anyway, right? So, anyway, correctness first, optimization later. Just, yeah, if this is also, I'm a little bit reluctant, not only would need to really compile a list of FLT, FM3 vectorize and stuff. F3, yeah, so I mean, I think for the handful of packages who add crazy stuff, I think the efforts and performance impact, because one thing is neglectable. If we add there like a couple of dozens of stuff, then eventually it might start to really be noticeable. Even like Linux compilation, you do this a million times and actually maybe it really builds 5 seconds slower. Yeah, like F unit at a time, unroll all loops and stuff. There's a limit of stuff we add there. I think if there ever is a problem, we probably should really modify the CFlex of one package that is doing crazy stuff. Until then, I would say it's like, yeah, YOLO, whatever. This one package that's doing crazy stuff, so be it. So FLTO, we insert that. And so this is, by the way, a hack. We had some regressions that we don't do this for conf test. I don't remember. There were crazy situations where this conf test would fail with strange stuff. All right, maybe actually some conf stuff was grabbing for assembly output or something, and then it might not have worked anymore. Anyway, stuff like that. So instead FLTO32, I think that probably has a recurring theme, right? You hope for the best. We could test the Linux kernel. Actually, we should probably test the Linux kernel. The only thing is, of course, this is Linux kernel should be marked no LTO. Yeah, LTO disabled for this package. I think. Let's quickly check the log file. Just some due diligence of checking that this really doesn't. Okay, there is no LTO grep for that. And the only other thing would be like Firefox. This is probably also LTO. And this is exactly the reason why I did this little bit extra effort. Because otherwise, if we always would remove that, why does this fail? Was this not a complete build? That is strange. Do I not have a complete build there? Or maybe not? Do we have Firefox? Yeah, I should rebuild more stuff. Like I should rebuild all the architectures. Also updated half-bus. I hope half-bus is not a regression. Why does this fail? That is crazy. What is Python? No, what the heck is going on with that stuff? That is, you know what? Is there a chance I started to, no, okay, let's build the Linux kernel locally. Did I re-enabled LTO? There is a chance that I started this build when this was mounted in my workstation and this is now running in the server container. Maybe that is why some glibc stuff is out of sync there. So LTO disabled for this package. We could actually, let's just build a second. You're saying less R. Yeah, so this escape also hurted my eyes. I thought it is less capital R. No, this something is, I don't know what's going on with this less stuff. I thought it was, it's a little bit funny to be honest. I agree with that. Yeah, there it worked. Why does this less? CU, what uppercase, something colors, forward 8 colors, not using on the escape sequences with -R. I have no idea what this -R now doesn't work. I remember that I sometimes had issues with this already. What was? Yeah, I'm not sure what was up with this stuff, to be honest. Anyway, that's not the most important thing today. It also hurts. In general, long story short, I would argue don't do this build output prettification stuff. It's rather pointless and it's only causing issues for people. So Linux here, this check for LTO. Yeah, so of course no LTO stuff in there. So I think that is good to ship. And this is amazing community stuff. Not only your shares, likes, and subscribes, GitHub sponsors, Patreon, and YouTube members, but also this is what makes software and Linux and community so great, right? I would probably in years not found this. This is only because people playing along at home, Dr. Schubert, it's like, hey, this BTOP breaks on Itanium IA64. Hey, there's LTO hard-coded. And this is, you can't, even I can't hunt all bugs or notice everything, right? And this is in general with software, or even non-software, right? Think you build a bicycle or a car or whatever. The more people use this stuff, the more people find this stuff and add their 2 cents. Super amazing. I'm really happy and amazed with this community of growing feedback and sponsors, members. And so yeah, making T2 and the surrounding infrastructure greater every day. So that would be remove or improve GCC wrapper to remove any stray FLTO in random package build systems. I hope that doesn't cause any regression, but if it does, we would need to test it anyway. And so basically, I did so much stuff, I think it's actually a good time to wipe all builds, I would say. And finally release T2. It's overdue since December, yes, I know. But, I mean, the crazy thing is I noticed a couple of more things. Like, for example, grub2, we should probably also use a variable there for the UUID. I actually noticed only the other day that we have there fs search something UUID, and then we have the same UUID hard-coded in the menu entry. That is, of course, not optimal. In my opinion, this should only be one set UUID variable, and using this with proper variable and not hard-coding this a second time. But maybe I do this soon, maybe later. But this is what I think I added this to the to-do, right? Yeah, UUID if applicable. Yeah. So yeah, with that being said, it's time to build that. Rebuild all of this. I will not do this live now. And then I see if we have more breakage. I hope half-bus still builds. We majorly updated this too. I think half-bus 4, but with our luck, there's always a chance of this stuff to fail. And also LTO stuff, right? So this is building, we will, of course, previous videos, we usually build 24 CPU and libc configurations. And if there's something major, I think there were still, unfortunately, still a handful of minor things, like with exotic CPUs. But if something major fails with this LTO stuff, we will hopefully know soon. And other stuff like Qt and so on, we find only later. But I don't expect too many regressions. The biggest concern would be Linux kernel, grub, and Firefox or so, or OpenOffice, which we probably also need to update. Anyway, that's it for the video. This is like, yeah, basically software, hardware is never done and can keep you every day 24/7 busy with one more thing there, one more thing there, and at the end of the day is over. Anyway, hope you learned something, and to see you next time, and thanks for the membership. Highly appreciate. Actually, maybe we should one more minute of, let's see, looking at early P4 in the thumbnail. I'm not sure what I used in the thumbnail. That was the thumbnail. Should this not be? The thumbnail should have, was it not PowerPC? I thought so. You tested on transmitter Crucilator, not intentionally. Which one particularly? We made videos, right? We have the Crusoe 5400 or something, and in the OCO 01 and the nearly last transmitter efficient in the Hewlett-Packard Thin Client. The Hewlett-Packard Thin Client I use sometimes, mostly for vintage stuff. But yeah, as usual, leave me in the comments. I have to go. Leave in the comments below. Took once Loadland from DOS Windows ME. That is a funny thing. I think I nearly never used Loadland though. I just use the bootloader. But yeah, if you have any particular questions with transmitter and stuff, leave in the comments below. And otherwise, thanks for watching and catch you next time.